Welcome everyone. This is Bobby Fazy, President of Insight Law. Today, we're going over the Insight Law Maintenance Program. We call this the Empowered Legacy session. I just want to do special announcements as far as questions. If you do have a question, what you can do is should be a chat box that you have access to. You can type in a question there, and I would be happy to answer that question. Just wanted to make sure that everyone can hear me okay. And so if I don't get any chat saying that you can't hear me, then I will assume that everyone can hear me and see my screen. And that's what we will be working off today for the program. I'll give everyone a minute or two just to get settled. Okay, with that being said, we're going to start the presentation. And so I will work off of this PowerPoint here and reference any handouts. I will show you those on the screen so you're comfortable. This program was created to introduce our clients, our new clients, to the maintenance program, get you comfortable with working with the law firm. And some of our veteran clients come to this meeting or listen to the meeting so that they are refreshed on all the services that we're providing. Once clients review this, we also have the ability, I recommend that any of your helpers or beneficiaries also listen to this program. Again, this goes over all of the services offered by the law firm. That being said, our mission from the law firm's side of things is we want to create plans that work, and specifically we're creating estate plans that work for our clients. And the way that we have seen this in action is that rather than take a transactional approach to estate planning where we are trying to hurry you in and out of the office as quickly as possible, and once you get your documents, there's very little follow-up, we take a relationship-based approach to the planning in that we're hoping that your plan does not need to be implemented anytime soon. And the idea is the longer that we have worked together and that we know you and your family, the smoother things will be as we work through life's major transitions such as disability or death. This slide here states what were they thinking. There was an article that was written by the chairman of the National Network of Estate Planning Attorneys. It is posted on our website. I will give you basically the summary of this article. The chairman just recognized the point that people, when it comes to estate planning, kind of are short-sighted on this issue and do not give it the due time it deserves to think through the issues. One of the most common issues that we see that I can kind of see, I've seen it in action for our clients, is that we actually have situations where the client is in a disability situation and the attorney may not have talked to or did not talk to the financial advisor or not think through the financial issues for the client if they were stricken with a catastrophic illness like Alzheimer's, a stroke, or something along those lines. And so the idea behind that is let's think through those issues proactively rather than at the worst possible time when you're actually dealing with it. So I like that article and that it just reinforces the fact that we want to have a relationship-based approach. I'm going to try to get a little bit of the sun out of here so you can see me better. Hopefully the lighting's a little bit better there now. I can't really, I think it's not doing great. Okay, so With that being said, the next slide is we build our culture on reciprocal commitments. I find that the best expectations I've had or relationships I've had is when we have clear expectations in advance. And I think that's really important when it comes to the estate planning aspect of it, especially between attorney and client. And I think the main thing that I've seen where it hurts clients is where we don't have clear communication. And so my goal in this presentation is to make sure you're clear on how to communicate with a law firm. We have various channels to communicate. And then there's various educational opportunities that we offer live and on our website that you can attend or have your helpers attend if it's relevant to them with regard to your planning. So that you're prepared and that your family's prepared on the contingencies and on any major life contingencies. Our approach to planning is a three-step strategy. The first step is developing the plan with counseling-oriented planning partners. That one has been set up. Your plan has been set up, and now we are on step two, is committing yourself and your family to a formal continuing and maintenance and education program. And so the key with regard to the maintenance and education program is that relationship, and that you understand how to just keep up to date on what's going on with the laws, how we can communicate that to you quickly and efficiently, and that your family knows what to do at the appropriate time. Then step three is when something does happen, that secure appropriate assistance for you and your family to transfer your wisdom along with the rest of your wealth. So the agenda for today is I'm going to make sure that you understand your member agreement. There's a lot that's in there. It just documents all of the services that we offer, and it's probably about a 12-page agreement. You may not have looked at it. My goal today is to just highlight all of the services that we offer and that you're comfortable with that member agreement. Also, I want to make sure that you are familiar with the client/family organizer. It's the white binder that you have gotten as part of working with our firm. If you don't have a client organizer that looks like a white binder like the one I'm holding up here, then let us know and we'll make sure we get one for you. And I'm going to go through that today on the items that so you're comfortable with that. Make sure you understand our technology, how to reach us, and our various technology platforms that we have. So you can send documents to us, communicate with us, access education when needed. And then I'll make sure that you know the 5 essential elements of a plan that works. So understanding why these 5 elements are key has helped us be consistent with our planning, and our clients' plans have been successful by following that process. Begin the personalization process. I'll go over that a little bit. And then the last part is more in the legacy planning, wealth reception planning. If you're interested in that, I will talk briefly about that. So with that being said, this call is slotted for, this presentation is slotted for an hour. And so it will not go over that amount of time. Sometimes we end a little bit early, but that is our time frame for today. First, the main thing that I want to have my clients comfortable with is that if you actually are know who to call, and that you know our phone number. And so give you kind of a rundown of the key people in our firm, or the attorneys and the support team members in our firm. I'm Bobby Fazy. I'm president of Insight Law. I'm lead attorney. I do estate and business planning for the clients. Wendy Masimer is our associate attorney. She does a lot of the document drafting, document support. She will do a lot of the delivery meetings for the clients, and she also runs our settlement and administration department. The next person is Joel Keith. That is our tax attorney. He has an LLM in tax, and he handles a lot of the tax cases and business issues with regard to our clients. Nusha Nazmi Ansari is our education director, and she is responsible for making sure everyone attends events like this or registers for the live events, client update programs, annual client meetings, and scheduling. Ed Clay is my successor attorney. He teaches with me at the National Network of Estate Planning Attorneys, and he has 25 years in the business, and he's agreed to take over my clients if I get hit by the bus, and I've agreed to take over his if he gets hit by the bus. The next attorney is Bill Dunker. He does the government contract side of things, and so he's our contracts attorney. Ginny Oliver is our funding coordinator. She's responsible for making sure everything gets titled properly. It's a very important job. She's excellent at it, and she's very detailed, and follow through is really important on our end. And so when she sends you an email or gives you a call, please be responsive to her. It's regarding the funding of your trust. Susan Postal is our news admin support team member, so she's supporting Ginny and Anusha and Wendy as well. So we're growing to help our clients better serve our clients' needs. And so the first main topic that I wanted to go over is the member agreement. And so with regard to the member agreement, I need to show you, pull that up real quick. Okay, so in the member agreement, you have this in your family organizer. It is in tab 10 of the family organizer. Basically, this lays out all of the services that we offer. I am not going to go through every page of this agreement. I'm going to highlight the main items so that you understand what we're offering to you. And so the main theme behind this is that as long as you understand what you need to do and you know what we're doing on our end, the plan's going to work. Where things get missed is when you're not familiar when you need to renew something or update a document. And so our goal is to make sure that you're comfortable that when we ask you for things, and it's not often, that you respond to it. So the first area that we find once we set up the plan, this is called stage 3, is the financial integration to make sure everything gets titled properly inside of your trust or payable to the trust. And Ginny Oliver is our funding coordinator. And once we deliver the plan, we initiate this process. And this process usually takes about 3 to 6 months to complete, because what we're looking for, as I'm highlighting here, is I set the bar high for Ginny, is I want a written verification that everything has been titled properly, either in your trust or to the trust, so that if there's any question down the line, 10, 20 years down the line, that they say, the financial institution says, no, we don't have evidence of it, I've got something in my file to rebut that. And so we're looking for written verifications on everything being titled. And once everything is verified and Ginny has verified it, she will send you a funding complete letter saying, congratulations, your trust has been fully funded. And we will send you copies of all your verifications and where you need to put that. Remember, if there's just one asset that's not titled properly, that will frustrate the purpose of the plan and would expose potentially those assets to the court process, probate, or not being administered according to your instructions. And so this last paragraph is just kind of an information as far as, remember, if we don't know, if you fail to disclose all your assets, then I can't make recommendations on our end to make sure they're properly titled. So haven't had that issue, but just make sure that we have a complete list of all your assets, because if something happens to you, I need to know where to go and who to contact. And then once we get this set up, it's just every year we send you an asset review report in December saying, here's our inventory of assets for you, here's our verifications, here's how we have them titled, is there any changes, yes or no? And that's our funding review process, so that we make sure that we're on target. If you have questions regarding any of the funding, that is, part of our maintenance plan is to provide funding support. And so we provide unlimited phone consultations regarding that. I would probably direct you to talk to Ginny if you had funding questions, but call the firm if you do have any issues with regard to that. Communication policy is we don't charge additional for phone calls, but what we do to avoid phone tag is we do phone appointments. So when you call, and if you want to talk to me regarding a legal counseling issue You just ask for a phone appointment and they'll schedule you. And we're usually getting those scheduled within 48 hours. Obviously, if it's an emergency call, you're going to be bumped up on that. If it's a funding question, you'd ask for the funding department or ask for Ginny. Maybe an amendment issue, you'd ask for Wendy as far as a drafting. Or if you wanted to schedule one of your events, that would go to Nusha. So we all adhere to that policy, and we'll want to make sure that we're responsive to you. And so phone appointments is something that you should be comfortable and aware of. The next item is our annual client meeting. We do these usually at the beginning of the year, February, March time frame. And we do these in live format. For those of you who can't make it live, we do have a live web version dates that we do. But what I go through at the annual client meeting is I go through what's going on in the state of the law. So this year's annual client meeting, I talked about the big tax laws that were passed and how that impacted our clients' plans. Also, there were some state-specific updates to the planning in the various jurisdictions, and we provided an update to that to our clients as well. We also talked about updates to the law firm, the website, and new planning techniques, as well as provided clients with their updated asset review report. So lots in that annual client meeting. It's a big picture meeting. It goes over the state of the law, also state of the law firm, and what you need to know with regard to that. We do that every year. And so if you don't come to an annual client meeting, or we understand missing one or two can happen, but if we haven't seen you in some time, I'm not feeling comfortable that you understand what we're doing on our end and how to make the plan work and what responsibilities that you have. And so if we don't see you repeatedly, there could be, we'll give you a call and ask what's going on. And my goal is really, we just want the plan to work. And so we want you to make sure that you come to these events and that you take advantage of that information and that you know what's going on with the law firm. Every 2 years, we have a client update program, and that's where we're actually updating your legal documents. So we'll let you know about 2 months before the meeting if you are up for this type of program. And what we do is we will send you an invitation, and once you confirm your reservation, we will send you an estate planning review worksheet, an executive summary of your plan that says, here's our key provisions that we have for you. It's about 10 pages long. And you let us know if there's any personal changes. If there's no personal changes, you just sign it and send it back, and we put the legal updates in. And I can tell you this year, there's a lot of legal updates that are going to be put in this year and next year because of that impact and flow through from the tax law and what the states are doing. So it's important that you get these updates. And if we don't see you at an estate plan as a CUP, a client update program, again, we understand you missing one is a situation, but if you miss two, that means we haven't seen you for 4 years, and I'm not feeling real comfortable that if 4 or 5 years go by that you have planning provisions that with the law that's 4 or 5 years old, and with the way things are changing in the law, again, I want the plan to work. I want to make sure it's updated in compliance. And so what I need on your end is just to make sure that you come to these client update programs that is once every 2 years. The word processing amendments, if you can't wait 2 years for your changes, then let us know and we'll get that done within 30 days. We don't charge additional for word processing amendments. We charge additional for counseling. And my usual story that I explain on this end with regard to word processing and counseling is that there is if you have a daughter and daughter gets married and daughter changes the name, is that word processing or counseling? That's word processing. If daughter got in a divorce situation and was mad at the divorce settlement, wraps the car around the tree and now is in a disability situation, and you call me and say, now what? That's counseling. And so I don't know exactly where it is, but we can tell it and agree on it together, where there's just a mere just changing some word processing amendments versus, hey, we need some counseling here, and that's when additional fees would apply. We will retain copies of your estate plan documents, and we also offer DocuBank membership. DocuBank is part of our maintenance plan, is where you will get a credit card that stores your medical directives. You should have gotten this card about 2 or 3 weeks after signing your estate planning documents. If you don't have a DocuBank membership card, let us know, and we'll get you another one printed out. It's like carrying your medical directives in your wallet. The other items that we offer in our maintenance or member agreement, I'm going to skip over these that are not highlighted. Transfer services. So if you move to a different jurisdiction, we do belong to a national network of estate planning attorneys, and so we can get you connected with another attorney, or a lot of our attorneys will just stay with us and we co-counsel with an attorney in those jurisdictions. The education services, we offer education programs throughout the year. I'll show you that as we go into the program. But that's basically an overview of the member agreement and all the services that we are offering with regard to the member agreement. If you have any questions with regard to the member agreement, let us know. Be happy to go over it with you. Okay. The next step, or the next item I want you to be familiar with, is your client organizer, family organizer. That's the white binder that I had mentioned to you before. And what I need you to, or what I want on this end for you all, is to get an idea of the binder, because there's a lot of good resources in there. In tab, and it's really how to run the plan, and it has main checklists, key phone numbers that you need to be aware of. And we are creating a digital copy of this plan so that if you have helpers that are located in different jurisdictions, that we can make sure that that gets posted and they can access it that way as well. So with that being said, the binder is organized as follows. Tabs 1 and 2 just deal with who to call and how to access our technology. And so in the binder, it'll just lay out all of the various attorneys and support team members that we have, as well as the email addresses. Also, tab 2 will have your username and password to access our website. I will talk about that. It also has a separate username and password if you are signed up for our portal, where we can upload documents securely and pass them back and forth quickly to each other. Tab 3 has your key reports. There's 2 reports that I want you to be familiar with. I've already mentioned these reports already. Those are the 2 items that, if you understand those, we are making a lot of headway, and those are great communication tools. One is your asset review report, which is an inventory of your assets. Looks like this, and it's just a down and dirty, here's how we have your assets titled, here's your values of your assets. A check mark by the asset means we verified it's been titled properly. So this is an inventory that we ask every year. We'll send it to you to give us the new values, or if you sold something, you cross it out, or if you bought a new asset, there's a place where you could add new assets to it. Tab 4 has our firm calendar and education programs. These are also located on our website. We also give you a hard copy. Tab 5, these are really important. These are your healthcare checklists. So the healthcare checklist, these are guidelines that you give your healthcare agents. It's a big responsibility that you're asking someone to make healthcare decisions for you when you cannot communicate them. And this, I find, these checklists really will help relieve some of that burden that you're putting on, could be putting on family members or helpers, on what type of treatment you'd want in various scenarios. And the checklists, we got them from a Harvard study from the medical school. And I like them because the value is really just talking through the various scenarios, because we can't predict every scenario, but talking through it with your agents will then give them the ideas and understanding, okay, this is what John would have wanted in this scenario. This is what they're thinking. And that's really important, that you complete those and that you talk through them and have a good conversation with your healthcare agents. not only is about healthcare decisions, but where you want to live. Most of our clients want to live at home and want to bring home care in. And so if you do want that, let's talk through that and let them know what your wishes are. Versus some people might want to go into a assisted living facility or a continuing care community or independent living community. And so we need to talk through those in advance rather than not giving guidance to those helpers if you're not able to communicate them at that time. The other tab 6 is final arrangements. That goes through and just getting things, your affairs in order as far as your funeral arrangements. And so we've done checklists on that end and prepared them. If you haven't done that, I urge you to take advantage of that. You can use as little of that checklist or as much of it as you want. The goal is that you've done it and it takes one thing off of the family's plate during a difficult time. Tab 7 and 9 we're developing, and I'll have some more updates for that in the upcoming, probably next year. And then tab 10 is the agreements that we have with the law firm. Okay, so that's the overview of the family organizer, client organizer. As far as technology, this is important that you're comfortable with our technology because a lot of things can be done that way. And so on the technology side, we have a website. It's called insightlaw.net. We use webinars. We have listservs, teleconferences. We also have a portal that we use. And so I want to make sure that you are aware of all of that. So the website access, let me go to our website, is insightlaw.net. And so that's what should be showing on the screen. So insightlaw.net is the website access, and there's a member login up to the top right. So when you hit the member login, there will be a username and password section. So your username and password is in your tab 2 of your binder. If you don't have that or don't know it, call the law firm and we'll be happy to supply that. So once you log in to the website, there are a lot of resources that we're offering to our clients. We have a separate secure portal, which would require another password. That's where we can put client sensitive data, asset information, and the like. That's another separate area that our clients use to update documents. The main website doesn't have anything client specific, and it's really there for resources and tools for you. Accessing important client documents. These are not any specific client documents. These are just blank documents. So if you wanted to update your healthcare instructions, there could be there's blank documents here, and you can just go ahead and update those documents right online, or update them and then send them to us. The letter of instruction to guardian trustees for your minor children, if you have minor children. Our calendar of events are here as well. And our member agreement is here as well. There's a little video that we've done on that. So that's the client area as far as documents. These are not specific documents to our clients. Those are laid out in the portal. DocuBank, you can access DocuBank through our website. And so all you need is your DocuBank card, and there is a member login, and it's right on your DocuBank card, as long as with a PIN number. If you have any questions, let us know. Your initial password is your zip code, and then you can always change it after that. But that is easy access to your medical directives online. Our video library, I think, is becoming more and more robust. And from our clients, the main items that I got from our clients on this is, let's try to condense the education and the videos. And so the idea behind these About Insight Law videos is just understanding the member agreement, how we got our name, overview of our process. There is more of an in-depth overview of the Insight Law Education Program. That's an hour and longer, and our maintenance program. Those are longer programs, but most of the videos I'm trying to get done within under 5 minutes, unless they are titled in-depth videos. So for example, If you're dealing with a loved one's disability, you usually want to go to the in-depth video that runs a little bit longer on what steps are involved or when someone passes away. So these are really helper videos on that. And then for training for clients with minor children, guardians, these are where they would go to just look through what their responsibilities and roles are. Some people have questions about what a trust is. I just did a quick 3-minute video on the basics of the trust, why naming the trust as beneficiaries of different either retirement plans or life insurance policies, how to maintain a lifetime protective trust. And then there's some planning tips and advice and the various roles. And again, a lot of resources there for those who are a little bit fuzzy on the education and want more. I'm providing it for you. You can make a payment online if you'd like. Funding information really isn't anything specific to our clients. It's just a general how to complete the asset review report that Wendy had done previously if you have questions with regard to that. Info for helpers and beneficiaries. So some of our clients, we used to have everything organized as far as videos in our video section, but now what we've done is a targeted video section just for helpers or beneficiaries. And so things that are just basic as far as what is a trust, how to maintain the trust, the various roles in estate planning, and then if the helper is dealing with a disability or death, then more in-depth videos that we have with regard to that. So very happy with regard to where the website is going, a lot of resources. If you have suggestions, let us know. Our calendar of events are laid out just like this, and you can reserve a spot for any of the events. The truth about estate planning, these are our initial client education program meetings and are not really tailored for existing clients. But in July, you can see we have client update programs where we're actually updating our clients' legal documents. The first one is full. We have one on the 21st, we have one on the 26th, and we do them throughout the summer. And you can easily sign up and online as well. Okay. Just checking one thing here. Okay, so the next tab, and so that goes through the insightlaw.net, client events. I have blog information in there. I went through all of the features of the website. We'll do also webinars like the one that we're doing today. If this is a decent webinar, I look at it afterwards, then I will post it online for people who are not able to attend live as well. And so we will do these throughout the year on different topics. Teleconferences, these are by appointment on the counseling issue. So if you do have a major counseling issue, one of our clients was concerned, dad was driving the car, and it was about the time where the kids were worried about that he was going to hurt himself. And so we called a family meeting on that. And since the kids were scattered, we did it via a teleconference. Okay. The next item is the essential elements that must be mastered for a plan that works. These are the 5 essential elements. We've already talked about these, so I'm not going to spend too much time, but I will add where necessary. One is being comfortable with the estate planning review worksheet. The other one is being comfortable with your asset review report. And then when to seek additional counseling, understand what a trust protector is, and then understand the plan personalization checklist and process that we have. So the estate planning review worksheet is really just an executive summary of your instructions. It lays out what and it's about 10 pages long, and it's located in the report section of your family white client organizer, family organizer. And it's a great way for you to tell us what's going on the personal side very efficiently. And if you can't wait 2 years for the update and you had an amendment, you can make those changes to the estate planning review worksheet, sign them, and send to us, and we can get those amendments done. And since you're signing it, it documents your intent. So if something happens in the interim, we've got something in your handwriting saying this is what I intend to have done. The the process with regard to the estate planning review worksheet is pretty straightforward. Once you sign up for a client update program, we will send you what we have on file for you. And what we need you to do, even if there's no changes on your end, we still need you to sign the form and send back to us so that we're documenting that you're not making any personal changes, but we'll put the legal updates in. And so if you don't show up for a client update program, and we've done all the drafting, and so the way our process works is we're updating usually 20 to 30 clients at a time, and these are in group format. So we have everything pre-assembled. So if you don't show up, it really frustrates the planning on our end. Is we've done all this work to get everything set up, you don't show up, now what? Well, we got to get new dates, we got to redraft everything. How are we going to get you to sign it? So we found that if you've signed up for it and you're reserved for it and you don't show up, then we had to do a personal update for you. We charge $500 for a personal counseling review. Don't need to do that often, but just I need you to be aware of it. As once these meetings are usually full, and we want to make and we get it all done and get everything updated for you, but we need you to show up on your end once we have it done. The asset review report is the other big tool that we use in our plan. And so the asset review report, as I showed you before, just lists the assets. And for us, it saves a tremendous amount of time off of disability and death administration, because we know who to contact. We know everything is titled properly. We're not dealing with issues with court or financial institutions. Also gives us an idea of where you're at as far as asset levels, so that if we need to worry about tax planning or Medicaid planning on the other end. Very powerful report. And again, it's located in tab 3 of your client organizer, family organizer. And this is how a sample one looks like. Just as far as funding, the basic idea with regard to trust funding is everything that we can put into your trust will go into your trust. And that is the best way to own your assets. But there are some exceptions, as normally attorneys deal with exceptions, right? We're not going to move any type of 401k, IRA, or qualified plan, tax sheltered plans. We're not going to retitle those into your trust. Those would be considered distributions if we did that, and we do not want to do that because that's when taxes are due. What we look at for those retirement plans, annuities, life insurance, we look at the beneficiary designations and make sure that those have been done properly. And so just understanding the two differences there as far as funding verifications. As far as funding new assets, if you're thinking about opening up a new financial account, it's always best, I believe, to just contact a law firm, and we can get the exact titling squared away with the financial institution up front. If you're buying a new property, let us coordinate with the title company or the realtor. And so we find those are the best ways to do things on that end. Don't need any new titling if you're buying furniture, jewelry. That's not necessary. It's really just financial accounts, real estate, businesses, the legal documentation, so that we make sure that assets are titled properly with regard to your relationship with that entity. And so the asset review report, more and more people are going paperless. And so as far as technology is concerned, we have a portal on our end. I showed you on our website where you could go to the portal. Our portal provider is Action Step, and if you've signed up for going paperless, you would have gotten an email that looks like this saying that you've been invited to join, and it would ask you to create a password and login for your portal. So just one, I know we're getting a lot of usernames and passwords this day and age, but on our end, the reason why we have a separate username and password for the portal is that is where we do have some client-sensitive data there, your client-sensitive data, and we want to make sure those are secure. The website is more generic in nature, general, and there's nothing client specific on that. So we have you go here, and that way we can upload the asset review report digitally and get things updated much more efficiently than the way we used to do it, is with paper, printing out a lot of paper, and you send it back, updating it. We taking a lot of steps out of the equation there. Also, you'll be notified if we upload any documents, like the asset review report, or if you wanted to upload your trust there. A lot of our clients are starting to upload more documents there. We're starting to build an architecture for that, so that their helpers who may be spread out throughout the country can access things that they want them to access. So that's coming, and where we can just give them permissions on which documents they have permissions to utilize. You can also give us messages through the portal if you'd like. If you want to send us a secure message, you can send it through the portal. We'll be sure to get that as well. The other essential element, so far we've gone through the first two is the the estate planning review worksheet. Make sure you're comfortable with that. The asset review report, make sure you're comfortable with that. The third big item that I find to master, to make sure that, to help us ensure the plan works, is when to seek additional counseling. And what I mean by this is sometimes if there's a health concern, from our end, it's better that we know about that issue sooner rather than later. So if there was a stroke and let's say months have gone by, and now maybe dad or mom is maybe going into the nursing home or and now we're getting involved, that lessens our options, where if there's a health concern, maybe we can get ahead of the issue on the legal side. So if there are health concerns or items like that, let us know. We are starting to incorporate an initial family meeting once we do the delivery of the estate planning documents, and it's optional, and we don't charge an additional fee as long as it's being done within 6 months of signing the plan. And we've been finding that people have been taking advantage of that. And the goal for that family meeting is to get the family to know who the law firm is, what our process, and get comfortable with us as well. Personal counseling review session is at your option. And so if there is a big issue that you want to talk about, and we want to think through, that is when you say, Bobby, we need to sit down, talk about some things. That's a personal counseling review. An advanced personal counseling review is maybe you have a tax issue now. You have your business is taken off, or you hit the lottery, or some other issues that are out there. We want to investigate advanced options. Also, if there's a major health concern and we're looking at maybe planning to protect the home against Medicaid or various other government agencies or services that are out there, what are your options on that? That is what I consider an advanced personal counseling review too, because there's things that you can do to proactively protect that as well. Family counseling review session, as I mentioned earlier, we did that one for dad. We were talking through him driving or not, or maybe there's a health issue. It's not a mental disability, but a physical, where you can't make it to the office to sign your legal documents or come to some of the education programs. We have developed a special delivery system where we can accommodate you on that if necessary. And then just a family thinking session. Maybe there's a big issue or impasse as far as a direction, and you need some type of mediator or guidance to get through the issue. We offer those as well. Those are at clients' options. Okay. Trust protector, you just need to understand what a trust protector is. We're finding this is to be used more and more in the planning, and it's really not being used by our clients. It's if something happens to our client and they're disabled, or after a client's death, and then these trusts are still being run. So let's say a client becomes mentally disabled and now they've overhauled the tax system again, and we got to put some new tax provisions in the trust to comply with the latest laws, but the client is disabled and they can't sign. Well, the trust protector is a third party that could be appointed to make and insert those tax provisions, or even after death to insert tax provisions or beef up creditor protection. And so the trust protector is this party that's out there. There's usually just three parties to a trust. The trust maker, those are our clients, the ones creating the trust. The trustees, the one managing the trust, that's usually our clients as well. And then the beneficiaries, the one receiving the benefits of the trust. That could be the clients or clients and kids or clients and other beneficiaries. But the trust protector is this fourth party that who might serve. They can't be related to you, so it can't be a family member. They should have a strong understanding of the law and understanding of the actual trust document. And they need to know your intent. They can only make changes based off of your intent. And so we found, and we just put a generic provision in that usually people will just appoint the law firm, and we're in a good position to know the document and know the law, and we know your intent. Usually our intent is, as when we do the initial planning with you, we ask for your goals. We go through a design template with you. We might have done a couple of updates to your trust. And so we have a good idea of what you want. And we have memorandums of intent that we ask you to review and sign every year as well. And it's not about changing your trust beneficiaries or making major overhauls. It's really just about making changes to comply with tax laws or new regulations that are out there that you wanted anyway. Most of our clients want to minimize taxes to the greatest extent legally possible and maximize asset protection. So how do we do that with ever-changing laws? The trust protector is our response to that. The personalization process is that last element. And so this, to me, I've talked about briefly, but this is really, I think, where we need to get better compliance by our clients and also be more proactive on that, is those healthcare checklists. Those are really key. Those tell what your wishes are, and talking through that with your agents will be helpful and take a lot of burden off in various, if you do become disabled, on the type of care you want, where you want to be cared for. Final arrangements just gets things, makes things a little bit easier for the family during a difficult time if those things are already squared away. And if you have minor kids, having those checklists done as well, so that they know if there's this money, this insurance money is coming in for the kids. Okay, well, how, trustee, can you use that money? Can you use it for private school, public school? Are there certain items that we need to put on and off that list? Special stuff list is any personal effects that you may have that we ask. It's amazing. Some of the fights that occur maybe between family members are not over the big investment account. It's over mom's Hummel collection or dad's barbecue or special tool set. And so the idea behind this is let's try to avoid those hurt feelings by just designating those to those people in advance. The last item I wanted to talk about is more the legacy planning and wealth reception planning. George Washington, I thought his will was great. He lived in Mount Vernon, Virginia. His will is actually in Fairfax County Courthouse. And one of the quotes on the will just really strikes me as far as the personal effects side of things. You can certainly say, I want my watch to go to this person, or I want this vase to go to this person. The way he wrote it is, versus just giving them their names, he put a little bit of the what the gifts meant to him and what he hopes that they would do. And I think that is a nice way to give a gift, very low, not too involved, as you can just write something as part of it. He wrote these with regard to swords that he wanted to pass on to his nephews. He said, "These swords are accompanied with an injunction not to unsheathe them for the purpose of shedding blood, except to be for self-defense or in defense of their country and its rights, and in the latter case, to keep them unsheathed and prefer falling with them in their hands to the relinquishment thereof." And to me, every time I hear that or say that, I still get goosebumps. It's just the way that he had left that gift, really powerful. I bet those cousins were very honored, and that was probably a very touching gift for them. So on our end, what we try to do is I will provide different opportunities for you. One very low-level way of doing this is on the website. If you remember, there's a section that says access important client documents there. There's a very easy thing you can do. It's called a personal legacy declaration. And it's just a little workbook that you can work through and take through, take things that you want. So it talks about heritage, if you wanted to, if you can talk about your parents or grandparents, that really connects lots of generations, or family. And so community, anything that was of value to you. This is just one way of being able to document kind of that non-material wealth. We also do what's called priceless conversations that I would sit down with you and do a short interview with you on carefully designed questions on various topics, and we have an audio memory that we have placed. And we also offer purposeful trust if you want to actually put in some of your own writings into the trust and own intent. Some of our clients have wanted to do that. So these are items that I would bring up in future sessions, but they're always available if you're interested in that. So the website, look for those for the latest education offerings. Our next trustee training education program for helpers, that's in November. That's a live program that we do in the Washington metropolitan area. It will be also through the website as well. The registering for events, as far as the upcoming client events, or if you had any questions with regard to it, you can go to our website and sign up. You can email Nusha. You can call Nusha at our office. We also send you, if you ask for paper, we'll send you hard copies of invitations. The locations of the events may be changed due to the number of attendees. A lot of times we try to do them live at our Ashburn office. We also have a McLean location. Sometimes we'll also do them in an Arlington location. Just depends on the number of people that we have for the event, but we always give you plenty of time in advance to confirm. So thank you very much for attending. I see we made it within our time guidelines. I don't see any questions that anybody had asked us. If you do have any questions down the line, let us know. Really, again, the goal is to get you comfortable with the law firm, our process, how to communicate with us, our various programs and offerings that we provide to you. With that being said, I will conclude the meeting. And so thank you very much for attending the Empowered Legacy session of Insight Law. This has been Bobby Fazy, President of Insight Law. Bye-bye.